Hey y'all! It's entry number 97 of this off-season series where we discuss a different player's fantasy value each day as a group. We are another day closer to the start of the 2022 NFL season. Each day we'll drop a name, go through some positives and some concerns of their fantasy profile, and then I'll give my personal opinion at the end. Today's discussion will be on Dameon Pierce, running back, Houston Texans. We'll start with the positives with Dameon Pierce's fantasy profile. Lead back. The Houston Texans running back room is not the most talented one on paper, and if preseason is any indication, Dameon Pierce will be the lead back over Rex Burkhead and Dare Ogunbowale in Houston. Being the lead back means that Pierce should see a decent workload each week and makes it easier to trust him in your lineups for fantasy leagues. The next thing I really like about Dameon Pierce's fantasy profile is that he's got a slightly improved line from last year. The Houston Texans had one of the worst offensive lines in the league last year, ranking 29th in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus. With Laramie Tunsil set to be healthy and a few other tweaks to the line, the Texans are projected to have the 22nd best offensive line in the league in 2022 according to Pro Football Focus. What this means is that unlike last year, there may be a shot for a Texans running back to be fantasy relevant. The last major thing I really like about Dameon Pierce's fantasy profile is that he scored frequently during the 2021 college football season. Dameon Pierce scored 16 touchdowns on just 119 touches during the 2021 college football season for Florida, or one touchdown every 7.44 touches. This is very impressive and shows what kind of ability he has. Moving on to some of the concerns with Dameon Pierce's fantasy profile. Pep Hamilton's running back rooms in the past. In his 40 games as the Indianapolis Colts offensive coordinator from 2013 to 2015, Pep Hamilton's running back room as a whole averaged just 20.45 carries on the ground, which is below the NFL league averages the past few years. There's a good chance that with Hamilton calling the plays and the team's overall roster makeup in general, where they'll have a lot of negative game scripts, the team won't be able to run the ball as much as they'd like in 2022. The next major concern I have with Dameon Pierce's fantasy profile is the likely subpar offense in general. The Texans' offense could be a little better this year, but it's important to remember where they're starting from. During the 2021 season, the Houston Texans' offense ranked 32nd in yards per game, with 278.1, and 30th in points per game with 16.5 according to ESPN. Playing in a subpar offense will likely limit the number of scoring opportunities for Pierce in 2022 relative to some other backs going around his draft range. The last major concern I have with Dameon Pierce's fantasy profile is that he wasn't utilized as a bell cow in college. Across 48 career college games, Pierce carried the ball just 329 times on the ground and caught 45 passes for 374 total touches. He never saw more than 123 touches in a single college football season and averaged just 7.79 touches per game across his entire college career, and had just 9 career college games with over 10 carries. Because of this, it is more unknown whether or not he's capable of handling a bell cow's workload at the NFL level. Some additional thoughts on Dameon Pierce's fantasy profile. Pierce's final college totals were 329 carries for 1,806 rushing yards, 23 rushing touchdowns, 45 receptions, 422 receiving yards, and 5 receiving touchdowns. Personal opinion. Dameon Pierce is currently going off the board as RB34 on ESPN, about pick 103 overall, and RB37, about pick 103 overall on Yahoo. His current ADP on these sites may not be completely accurate depictions of where he's going in most drafts right now, since he's a late riser in the draft process. Congratulations to everyone who got him dirt cheap prior to the rise. From a more anecdotal perspective, of the drafts I've done this past draft weekend, he's generally gone somewhere around the 6th round of 12 teamers, which seems about right since he'd be an RB3 on most teams. For each of these entries, we will highlight a charitable cause or organization. I couldn't find a charity that Dameon Pierce officially supports, so here's a link to his teammate, Nico Collins' My Cause My Cleats in 2021, which was for the Alzheimer's Association. Here's a link to that organization below. And that's it for today's entry. If you enjoyed this entry, be sure to like and subscribe.